The wooden benches creaked as people shifted impatiently. The courtroom was crowded that morning, filled with teachers, parents, and students. It was a bullying case, nothing unusual for the town, but one detail had stirred curiosity. At the center of it all sat Emily Carter, a quiet teenage girl with chestnut hair tucked behind her ears. She kept her eyes low, clutching the edge of the witness stand so tightly her knuckles were white. The judge cleared his throat, shuffling papers. "Emily, please tell this court why you believe these students targeted you." Emily swallowed hard, her voice barely above a whisper. "They called me a liar. They laughed at me." The judge leaned forward. "And why would they do that?" Her voice cracked. "Because I told them my mom is a Navy SEAL." Gasps fluttered across the room. A few muffled chuckles slipped from the benches. One boy, sitting smugly in the front row with his parents, snickered loud enough for everyone to hear. The judge arched an eyebrow. "A Navy SEAL," he smirked. "Child SEALs are the most elite warriors in the world. Do you understand the training it takes? Women don't make it through that. Are you sure you weren't exaggerating?" A ripple of laughter swept through the courtroom. Teachers hiding smiles, parents shaking their heads. Emily's cheeks flushed red. She bit her lip, tears stinging her eyes. "I'm not lying," she whispered, voice trembling. "My mom is a SEAL." The judge chuckled, leaning back in his chair as if amused by a child's imagination. "Miss Carter, I admire your spirit, but let's stay grounded in reality. You don't need to invent fairy tales to justify why you were teased. Children can be cruel, yes, but let's not make this about impossible stories." The courtroom laughed again. Emily's throat tightened. Every giggle felt like a knife. She remembered every cruel word her classmates had thrown at her. Liar, faker, wannabe. She wanted to scream, to shout the truth, but the words tangled in her chest. Her mother's voice echoed in her memory. "Emily, truth doesn't beg to be believed. It stands firm. Let time be its witness." Emily lifted her head, blinking away tears. Her voice, though shaky, held quiet determination. "You'll see, she's real." At that moment, the heavy double doors at the back of the courtroom swung open. The sound of synchronized footsteps filled the room, measured, precise, powerful. Every head turned, the air shifted. A unit of Navy SEALs marched in, boots striking against the marble floor in unison. Their presence was overwhelming, radiating discipline and strength. At the front of the formation was Commander Sarah Carter, Millie's mother. She wore her formal uniform, chest decorated with ribbons and insignias that glinted under the fluorescent lights. Her eyes were sharp, her posture unyielding. She wasn't just walking, she was leading. Gasps silenced the courtroom. The laughter died instantly. Parents clutched their children's hands. Teachers stared, mouths slightly open. Even the bullies who had once laughed at Emily sank into their seats, faces pale. The judge's smirk vanished. His gavel slipped from his hand, clattering onto the bench. His voice cracked as he stammered, My God, you're... Sarah's gaze locked onto him, cool and steady. "I am Commander Sarah Carter, United States Navy SEAL," she said firmly. "And I am also Emily's mother." The judge swallowed hard, his arrogance collapsing into silence. Sarah's team stood tall behind her, a wall of silent strength. She stepped forward, every movement precise, controlled. The authority in her presence didn't need explanation, it demanded respect. Turning her eyes to the judge, she spoke calmly but firmly. "This court should never ridicule the truth of a child. My daughter doesn't lie. She doesn't need to." A hush fell over the room. The same people who had laughed moments ago now stared at the floor, shame painted across their faces. Emily's tears spilled, but these weren't tears of humiliation. They were tears of pride. Her chest swelled as she looked at her mother, her hero. Standing tall before the world, Sarah knelt beside her daughter, resting a steady hand on her shoulder. Her voice softened, filled with warmth. "Emily, you never need their belief to validate your truth. You carry my strength inside you. That's all you'll ever need." Emily nodded, choking back sobs. For the first time, she didn't feel small. She felt strong. She felt seen. The judge cleared his throat, his voice shaking. "Miss Carter, Commander Carter, my deepest apologies." But Sarah didn't let him finish. She rose to her full height, her SEAL team behind her like an iron wall. She didn't need his apology. The truth had already spoken for itself. The court dismissed the case, but no one left the room the same. The children who had laughed at Emily would never laugh again. The teachers who had doubted her would never doubt again, and the judge who had mocked her would forever remember the day a quiet girl's truth shattered his arrogance. As Sarah and her team escorted Emily out, her daughter clutched her hand tightly. For the first time in years, Emily smiled through her tears. She wasn't just the girl no one believed anymore, she was the daughter of a warrior. And that day, in a silent courtroom, everyone learned a truth they would never forget. Sometimes the smallest voice carries the greatest strength, especially when it echoes the legacy of a Navy SEAL.